is Thursday, September 28th, and you are not in class, but you know where to go. You found Google Classroom, you're in the right spot. This is what we have going on today. So the first thing you come in today is we had our formative assessment. And the formative assessment looked like this. And what we wanted to decide in the formative assessment was, do you understand perimeter, which is, can you walk around this area? And then we wanted to figure out, can you walk around the shape? That's the perimeter. And then, do you know the area? And we reminded ourselves that area was the base times the height, and then divided by 2. Because a triangle is always half of a rectangular shape. Okay, so if the base is here and the height is here, that would give us that whole rectangle, so we just cut it in half. Then we took a look at this trapezoid and we said, okay, our perimeter is walking around the outside. And then the area, it's interesting because they have 2 different bases, right? So we took base plus base times the height, and then we divided the whole thing by 2. And that gave us the area, and that was in centimeters squared. This was inches squared. Perimeter was in inches, and the perimeter here was in centimeters. So that's the first thing we did. Now, when we were done, we went right into homework because kids finished at different times, and I said, well, as long as you have homework to do, and as long as you can work really efficiently with your time, let's go to homework. So we went into our Chromebook, and we didn't assign any new homework today. We just went back on the stuff that we had been working on. And so if we looked on our Google site, these are some of the things that we were working on. So we went anywhere up to 1.27, okay? So if we're looking at our book here, anything up to 1.27. So we could have done 1.22, 1.23, 1.24, 1.25, and then we worked on our homework packets. Okay. Next. After we did that, homework time, we did a thing called Candy Crush. And this is the experiment for Candy Crush. We said, you have a paper full of Jolly Ranchers. And if you reach into the bag, you have a 1/3 chance of picking a blue raspberry. And there's a 3/5 chance of picking green apple. So first question, working with your group. What is the probability of picking a blue raspberry or a green apple? Okay. Or. So it could be either one of those. Then, second question, is there another flavor in the bag? How can you tell? And if so, what's the probability of picking that flavor? And then we said, how many candies are in the bag? And is there more than one possibility or one more solution to that problem? So if the kids were able to check that off, I had a little Jolly Rancher for them. And then we went into this. I said, it's poster time. So we wanted the kids to create a showcase poster. We wanted them on their paper to put each one of these spinners on. And the question for each spinner is, how do you explain what piece is missing? So we wanted to see what strategies the kids came up with, whether they used comparable fractions or whether they used pictures. And so then they figured that out. Okay, so that's what we did today. So to sum up, this is what we did today. We did a formative assessment. We did our homework time. We worked on Candy Crush. We worked on Missing Piece 1, and then we worked on Missing Piece 2. Data. This is interesting. I was looking at all the points for participation, and I keep track of those every day. The most interesting thing that I learned was when I was keeping track of data information and why kids were gaining and losing points. The quickest way to lose points was cross-talking, right? So if we looked at our classroom and it looked like this, so we have Michigan State up here and Wisconsin and Iowa and Purdue and Illinois, Ohio State, and Minnesota. Groups that were talking out of their groups, that was the quickest way to lose points, right? So like if Michigan State is talking to Minnesota, right, then you get all this interference in the middle. So you want to keep your participation points. I would say work in your group. How does that sound? Good. So to recap, we had formative assessment, then we did homework time. We did Candy Crush, missing piece number 1, missing piece number 2, and we did not add any homework, but we did work on old homework. All right, friends, I hope I see you tomorrow. I hope you are well and have a beautiful Thursday.